It was exactly 12:03 a.m. when the phone rang, sharp, sudden, and jarring in the silence of the tiny apartment. Alina jolted awake, heart racing, her hands fumbling through tangled sheets to reach the phone. Calls at midnight were never good. They carried the weight of emergencies, of bad news, of things you weren't ready to hear. And for Alina, who had already seen enough pain in her 26 years, this call felt like a final thread snapping. She answered with a trembling voice. "Hello." There was a pause. Then a weak, cracking voice on the other end whispered, "Alina? It's me, Maheen." Alina froze. The name hit her like a wave crashing against stone. Maheen, her younger sister. The one who had vanished 3 years ago after a family argument that had burned like wildfire and left nothing but ash behind. They hadn't spoken since that night. No calls, no letters, just silence. Alina sat up straight, sleep forgotten. "Maheen? Is it really you?" Maheen's voice broke into sobs. "I'm in trouble. I didn't know who else to call. Please, I need help." 3 years earlier, everything had changed in a single evening. Their mother had died suddenly from a heart attack, and the grief tore the sisters apart. Alina, the older one, had tried to be the responsible daughter, organizing the funeral, handling relatives, and hiding her own heartbreak. Maheen, still reeling, had lashed out, blaming Alina for not seeing the signs earlier. One night, after a brutal argument, Maheen packed her bags and left. Alina had spent months searching, begging friends, scanning social media, even going to the police. But Maheen had disappeared. Slowly, the world demanded Alina move on. She poured herself into nursing school, then into her job in the emergency room. Helping others was the only thing that dulled her pain. But now here she was, her baby sister's voice, broken and afraid, echoing through the darkness. Alina didn't waste a second. "Where are you? Tell me, and I'll come right now." Maheen gave her a location. An old bus stopped 2 towns away. Alina grabbed her coat, keys, and wallet, heart pounding harder than any ER emergency she'd ever faced. The drive felt eternal, and her thoughts spiraled with worst-case scenarios. Drugs? Abuse? Homelessness? She prayed silently with every red light. When she arrived, the sight shattered her. Maheen sat on the bench, her once bright eyes sunken and shadowed, her thin arms wrapped tightly around her body. She looked like a ghost of the girl Alina remembered. Beside her was a small duffel bag, everything she owned, it seemed. Alina stepped out, her voice soft but urgent. "Maheen." Maheen looked up, eyes wide with disbelief, then guilt, then overwhelming grief. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I didn't know where else to go. I thought you'd hate me." Alina pulled her sister into an embrace so tight it might have stitched their wounds shut. "I could never hate you. You're my sister. You'll always have a home with me." The next few weeks weren't easy. Maheen was fragile, physically and emotionally. Alina learned that she'd fallen in with a controlling man who later abandoned her, leaving her alone and scared. She had tried to survive on odd jobs, but it wasn't enough. Shame kept her silent all these years. But slowly, with Alina's help, she began to heal. They cooked meals together like they used to, watched their mother's favorite old movies. They talked, truly talked, for the first time in years. Maheen apologized. Alina forgave. And in those quiet, sacred moments, something new began to grow from the ruins. Alina took time off work, something she never did, just to be present. She helped Maheen find therapy, get her strength back, and eventually re-enroll in college. One night, weeks later, as they sat on the balcony watching stars over the city skyline, Maheen turned to her sister and said, "You saved me, Alina. That night, I had no one. If you hadn't picked up, I don't know what would have happened." Alina took her hand, squeezed it. "You don't need to thank me. You came back. That's what matters." And so, a call at midnight changed everything. Not just because it reunited 2 broken sisters, but because it reminded them both of the power of love, forgiveness, and never giving up on family, no matter how long the silence, no matter how deep the wound. Sometimes, healing doesn't come in grand gestures or perfect timing. Sometimes, it comes in the quiet answer to a desperate call in the middle of the night.